I left my wife, and it took her over a week to notice. OP's cheating gold digger wife took over a week to realize OP had filed for divorce and ghosted her, as she was busy with her affair. She then posted about living a happy life with her affair, using OP's money. Now, after 5 years, he found out her online life was a lie to hide her poverty and loneliness, as her affair and friends abandoned her after OP left. TLDR spoilers author's note. This starts out as a guy reflecting on a sad time in his life. He makes peace with some things and somehow ends with a road trip with an internet stranger. It's a long one. Please don't message me saying it's long. I know. I edited and aggregated the damn thing, lol. New to Reddit. So I hope I'm doing this right. M35 was married to my wife F35 for 8 years. I left her 5 years ago. We are child-free by choice her choice. I had always said we had a good relationship and marriage. But looking back, I see that it was good for her. Here is my story. I've always been the nerdy type. Smart, good grades, but never popular. I am from a very well-off family, and due to my grandparents' inheritance and some smart investments my parents made, I did not have to go to college or work and still have a comfortable life. But I love what I did. I met my wife my first year in college. She was in my class and was looking for a tutor. She was a scholarship kid. We spent more and more time together, but never on the weekend. I wasn't the outgoing type, and she would still go out on the weekend. After a while, we started going on dates, and after I graduated, we got married. Looking back, she started making decisions for us as soon as we got together. My wife worked for the first half of our marriage, and when her company downsized, she got laid off. She became a stay-at-home wife who was not at home that much. She had friends she took trips with, and she had a lot of lunches and dinners with her friends. I basically spend my money on her well-off lifestyle. While I remember our love life being passionate in the beginning, it's just that a memory. When I was 29, I was involved in a car crash. They say a drunk driver totaled my car, but I still have no memory of that day. I was in a coma for 2 weeks. After waking up, I had to learn to do a lot again. After 4 months, I went back to work. When I came back home, my wife put me in the spare room. She said it had been like that for a while because I was snoring. I kept my mouth shut, but I knew that this was new. The accident somehow gave me clarity of mind. I could see that the marriage had been over for a while, but I still wanted to see if I could save it. Everything I tried failed. What sealed the deal for me was my 30th birthday. I came home, and she was not home. She was having a spa day with her friends. I ordered takeout, watched a movie, and made a decision. I wanted out. The next morning, I want my lawyer to start drafting divorce papers. I stopped engaging with her unless absolutely necessary. Slowly, I started selling anything that had any emotional value to me. I left all her stuff for her. I bought a new car and left it at a parking garage, not so far from our home. 1 month later, all I had left were my clothes, a couple of laptops, a projector, and a portable screen. I needed everything I needed to work from the road. I did not quit my job. I arranged for it to be completely remote. 2 months after my birthday, I stayed while my wife was at another lunch with her girls. I took the new car, packed everything I needed in it, left the divorce papers and a letter on my bed in the spare room, and closed the door to my house for the last time. I was wondering how long it would take for her to notice. I decided to drive cross-country and visit every place I wanted to go, but couldn't because my wife didn't want to. We had a prenup, so she had no right to ask anything. In the letter I explained, I told her I was leaving, and that I would leave her the house and the car and would pay a sum every month for exactly a year. After that, she was on her own. In my own stupidity, I forgot to mention why I was leaving. This would work out in my favor. 10 days after I left, I got a text from my wife asking me where I was, and if this was a joke. She called me, but I didn't pick up. I never pick up the phone while driving. I had an automated text message that said, "I'm driving and will call back later." She sent me text after text after text. That night, I stopped in a motel and decided to read the texts before calling her back. First she was asking if this was a joke, then asking when I would come back, then begging me to come back, not knowing why I left, and then she said something. She was sorry, and it didn't mean anything, and she would cut him off. She was having an affair, something I never suspected. I called her cell phone, and she was at her parents'. I learned this tactic from TV. She started yelling at me, and I hung up. I waited a minute and called back. She started yelling again, and I hung up again. I waited 2 minutes and called back again. This time she wasn't yelling, and I started talking. I told her that she was going to let me talk first, and after I said what I needed to say, she could ask questions. I told her why I left. We were married but living like roommates, not even roommates because they at least acknowledged each other. I don't remember the last time we had a conversation. The last time we did something together. I don't remember the last time we had sex, but I know it was before the accident. I told her that for a month before leaving, I stopped talking and sold everything I had in the house, and she didn't even notice. It took her 10 days after I left before she noticed I was gone. If she had called me on the day I left, I would have turned around immediately. I ended with, "Thank you for admitting to the affair. I really didn't know about that." She tried to apologize, and when she asked me to come back, I asked her why. If she could explain to me why, I would consider it. What was in it for me? What would change? She couldn't answer. So I said goodbye and told her that my lawyer knew how to contact me. Then I blocked her. The next day, I bought a new phone with a new number and left the old one at the motel. 2 weeks later, I got an email from my lawyer saying that the divorce papers had been signed. I was free. Editor's note. OP expands on this statement in the Q and a post, but clarifies that he felt free, not that the divorce was over. I kept my word. My lawyer already had all the documents signed by me that would transfer ownership of the house and the cars to her. The bank automatically deposits a fixed amount into our shared account every month for a year. Where we are now. For the past 5 years, I have been driving across the country, working remotely. I finally had a reason to start using social media. I posted online where I've been and where I'm going. I stay in one place for a couple of weeks and drive to the next. My ex-wife started following me on Instagram a year after I left, and out of curiosity, I looked at her public posts. I'm not planning on following her back. She posted pictures with her boyfriend soon after I left. To her credit, she did not badmouth me, at least not on Instagram. 2 months after I left, they apparently broke up. That was the last time I really had an update on her. I also have a SX life now. Once I put myself out there, it turned out to be easier to have casual SX. There is no committed relationship. Now, after years, I'm going back to my hometown. There is a reunion I want to attend. I'm staying for a month, maybe 2, and then I'm going to Canada. I have no plans to look up my ex, but I will also not actively avoid her. If I see her, I'll see her. If I don't, I don't. Relevant comments. She probably lied about being laid off. No, the downsizing of the company and her being laid off were real. I knew more people at that company. But with her contacts, she could have easily gotten a new job. Something I did not question at the time. What tactic did you learn from TV? The tactic of hanging up till she stopped screaming. That is something I got from a TV show. Commenter. You're without money, but you sleep in a motel, and when you change your number, you leave a whole phone behind. Nice story. OP money or no money. If you are unprepared, you sleep where you can get a bed. I've slept in motels, Airbnbs, average hotels, and even in the guest rooms of people I've met. I don't go to luxury hotels. They make me uncomfortable. And yes, I bought a new phone, got a new number, and left the old one behind. It was a way of leaving the one way she had to contact me behind. Commenter. Other than your accident, did you have any other memory loss from the coma? It's surprising to me that she put you in another bedroom and lied about that. Why would she think she could get away with that? OP. The whole week before the accident is blurry, and the day of the accident is gone. I had also forgotten that my mother died 3 years before that. For the rest, I really don't remember what I have forgotten. I've said that sentence so many times. It never gets old. Q and an update. 3 days later. A few things that were already answered in the comments. People have asked me, and even berated me for leaving her house. The answer is actually very simple. I wanted to leave. I made up my mind that I was going to travel and didn't want anything tying me down. Selling the house would have taken too long. Leaving it to her was the fastest option. Additionally, my conscience wouldn't have allowed it. She might not be a good person, but I try to be one. Leaving her homeless would have weighed heavily on me. Remember, there's a reason I married her, because I did love her at one time. There are people who think this is fake, because I was traveling during COVID. The answer is not that simple, but can be summed up in 2 words. Carefully and illegally. About my work. I've been working remotely for the past 5 years. 3 years ago, I switched jobs to a new company and position, still remote. There was never a necessity to come into an office. I've invested in a satellite internet connection. Yes, provided by the company. Now I have high-speed internet everywhere I go. I have KPIs that I need to reach every 2 weeks. I can set my own working hours, as long as I meet the KPIs. About Canada. I'm not migrating to Canada. I'm just visiting. I visit one place for a few weeks, then move to the next, and repeat. People have been asking for my social media account. I'm not going to share it. I came to Reddit for the anonymity. I still have a lot of people I know who don't need to hear the story. My social media has been private for a couple of years now. Only extended friends and family are my followers. When my ex-wife started following me, I didn't know much about the privacy settings back then. Now I do, and I never bothered to remove her as a follower. About the divorce being smooth. Listen, when I said she signed the papers, that didn't mean everything was said and done. I said I'm free because I feel free. The divorce proceedings still took some time, and when you have a good lawyer, and you are traveling, court sessions can be done over Zoom. While it was relatively fast, it certainly wasn't 2 weeks. So, her signing the papers was the moment I felt free, not the divorce being finalized. This is real. This is how my life changed. But I can't force people to believe it. So, to those who want to believe it's fiction, I hope you enjoyed the read. P.S. Some people made some Reacher comparisons. I just found out there is a TV show. I only knew the movies. It looks like I've got 2 seasons to catch up on. Update. 9 days later, 12 from the OG post. So I met my ex-wife. Or let's rephrase that. We ran into each other. Or rather, she ran into me. I was at a cafe and had just ordered lunch when a woman took a seat at my table. She looked at me in disbelief and said something like, "It's really you." I must have looked puzzled. Then she said, "You don't recognize me, do you?" I took a closer look at her and recognized her. She looks different. Her hair is different in style and color. She's wearing glasses again. The last time I remember, she was in college, and she had modest makeup in contrast to the tons of makeup she used to wear. I'm not going to lie, she looked beautiful. She wanted to catch up. I planned on being cordial, so I told her we could have lunch together, but that I had plans afterward. So I had her join me for lunch. Here's what I learned. Most of her friends left her because she couldn't afford their luxury spa days, lunches, trips, etc. She sold the house and now lives in an apartment. She has a job now, and that's where she met the guy she's seeing currently. She has a good life now, and it's normal, not extravagant. I know Reddit wants me to hate her and enact some kind of nuclear revenge, but I don't need that. We won't be friends, but that doesn't mean we have to be enemies. Yes, I paid for lunch, and yes, I gave her a hug goodbye afterwards. I'm not giving her my contact information, but I did add her back on Instagram. I think that's enough. Also, I got an invitation to go to a small country in South America from a remote coworker who found my story on Reddit. Seriously considering it. I mean, the food. He suggested driving through his country. It's not a big country, so it would only take a couple of weeks. He's a biker, and I don't know how to ride one, so I'd just follow him and his girlfriend with a car. Update. About 1 month later. Title. Ex-wife asks if we still have a chance. Well, the title says it all. I am not allowed to post links, but if you want the backstory, just look at my post history. I've been in my hometown for a few weeks now. I have met my ex-wife a few times. None of this was planned. Some mutual friends organized some get-togethers, and we were both invited. I know for a fact that the first friend that invited us both did it to stir up drama. But this was after my ex and I had already had lunch together, so there was no drama. Ironically, I think that for others, that was a sign that because there would be no drama, we could both be invited. Like I said, I am cordial with her. We talked a little, but I spent most of my time catching up with other friends. Last Saturday, after some mingling at a friend get-together, we ended up talking on the balcony. Long story short, she asked if there was still a chance for us. I told her honestly that if our relationship had started genuine, and not because of the money, there would have been a chance now. But she will never be able to convince me that it wasn't all about the money from the very start. So no, there is no chance for a relationship. I'm leaving in a few weeks, so the best chance we have is long-distance Instagram friends. We're not going to be friends, but we don't have to be enemies. Also, for those who read the previous post, the trip to that small country in South America is on. It's not my next destination. I plan to do it later this year, and it will be my first trip outside of the US. A fellow digital nomad has expressed interest in joining me, so I'm meeting up with her first. She'll be my passenger princess for a few weeks. And if it clicks, she'll join me in South America. Relevant comments. Nobody knows about the cheating. I only learned about the cheating when I was already gone. All my friends know is that we got divorced because I was tired of being her ATM. And I've been gone for 5 years. She has stayed for those years. She is still in social circles. And I'm the guy who is visiting after 5 years. Of course, we are invited to the same events. Nobody is trying to get us back together. If they are doing a lousy job. I don't know if it is clear, but the girl that I'm going on the road with is someone different. That is not my ex-wife. Doesn't she have a boyfriend? Yes. To be honest, I had completely forgotten about him. She only mentioned him at that first lunch. I never met him. What is a passenger princess? I just realized how it could sound. No, we are not going to be intimate. This is just a girl who also does remote work, but for a different company. We had a project together and kept in touch. She will be my companion for a few weeks. We drive one day, stay in a motel or hotel for 2 days, work from the local coffee shop, diner, business center, or other place with internet, each on their own projects, and drive to the next town. I'll drive, and she will be the passenger. We will not be sharing rooms. We will split expenses. Also, the passenger princess is always in charge of snack distribution, and the driver is in charge of the music. To a different commenter as she describes it, someone who loves to take long trips in the passenger seat. She loves the road trip, but she hates to drive. Has she explained her actions? Not to me. But, to be honest, I haven't asked. I'm not blocking her on my social media, but she doesn't need my other contact information. Update. 1 week later. 1.5 months from the OG post. Title. Back on the road in a few days. And I'm gone on Sunday, maybe Monday. I was going to stay 2 more weeks, but I got bored. I told my friends here that I'd cut the visit short. I was going to leave today, but they convinced me to have a going away party this Saturday. And I'll be leaving on Sunday or Monday if I have a hangover. The friends asked if they could invite my ex-wife. I told them only if she brought her boyfriend. Now you may wonder why I said that. There is only one reason, and it is not the reason you think it is. If her boyfriend is at the party, she will not be so clingy. I am okay with making small talk, but I don't want her to try to hold my arm again, get me alone on the balcony, etc. And I'm hoping the presence of her boyfriend is going to get her to behave. I also told the guys they have been good to me, so while they organize, I'll pay. Yes, I gave them a spending limit. I do not want a whole Aladdin parade with elephants and monkeys. Although monkeys could be fun. I contacted the passenger, Princess Peach. She needs a good nickname. From now on, I'll call her Peach. Like I said, I contacted Peach and told her the new timeline. She is excited, and I will see her on Wednesday. I think I'll blast Peaches by Jack Black on the speakers when I drive up to her. Just for the confused look on her face. Visiting home was great, but the road is calling. Insert theme song. Update. 3 days later. I'm not sure how much more I will be posting. This may be the last ever. The saga of the ex-wife has come to an end, and everything is back where it should be. I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed in me. But you do what you do, and I'll do what I do. I might come back to town in 5 years for the next reunion. On Saturday morning, a mutual friend of my ex and I took me to see my ex-wife. She tricked me, actually. She did not tell me where we were going. The ex is not doing well. She was faking it all this time. After selling the house, she blew through the money. She was never really good at money management. And trying to uphold her lifestyle without the same income as before, she blew through the money. She is now in a small apartment, has been single for a while, works minimum wage, and in order to fake it for my sake, she had to sell a lot of things. We had a talk about it, and she confessed that she did it so that I would not feel guilty for how it turned out for her. Following me on social media, she started to feel guilty for what she did in our marriage. For the whole reason she married me. And now she did not want me to feel sorry for her. Because she got what she deserved. Because she knew I would want to do something to help her get back on her feet. Asking me if we still had a chance a while ago was a moment before her mask fell off, and her friend also knew it. That's why she took me to the ex to see the truth. And here is the part where people are going to be disappointed in me. I did help her. While her intentions to get married were all financial, mine weren't. I married her because I loved her. So yes, I helped the woman I used to love, because that is the way I am. It was the day before I left, so there was not much I could really do. I've already sent an email to the HR department of a couple of companies I've done projects for. In the coming days, I'm going to use my pull to get her a better job in the field she studied for. I'm not giving her money. That would be the easiest way to fail. This is a better way to help. She did not want my help, but she is getting it anyway. The going away party was nice, and after our talk that morning, my ex-wife's presence was pleasant. I have decided to stay in contact with my ex-wife. Not only socials, but also personal email and messaging. I believe she has shown remorse. She was wrong in what she did, and she has shown remorse. We will never return to how we were, but I want to see if we can be long-distance friends. Not close friends, but still friends. I left today at noon. After a 6-hour drive, I'm in a motel now. The whole drive, I was listening to the audiobook Killing Floor. This is the first Reacher book. Thanks to Redditors comparing me to Reacher, I'm now mildly obsessed with Reacher. So that's where we've ended. My life is great. My ex-wife isn't doing well, but I'm helping her. I'm on the road again, and we'll meet Peach on Wednesday. Work a few days, and then Peach and I will go on the road on Monday. That was the last post about this saga. And unless something really interesting happens, this is my last post on Reddit. Have a safe journey. Quick edit. When I gave Peach her nickname, I wasn't even thinking about the peach emoji and the meaning behind it. Let's be clear. Peach got her nickname because she called herself a passenger princess. And the first princess that came to mind was Princess Peach from Super Mario Bros. That is why I call her Peach. Relevant comment. Commenter. I just hope I don't read an update saying that you came back with why he has changed as a person. He is sorry, which is false. He is just sad because he lost his economic power. And since he knows that you are a good person, it makes him sad. But well, I wish you the best on your trip. OP, first of all, it's my ex-wife. So I think you mean she, her. Where you put he, him. I believe she is a changed person. Life changes people. I only have to look at myself to see that. But that change does not mean I want to be with her again. It just means I don't resent her, and we can be civil with each other. Commenter. After all these years, she played you like a fiddle again. I'm not sure if I should laugh, cry, or even believe this whole thing. OP. So you think she played me, and all she got out of it was a lunch, a couple of drinks, and a better job? And I got closure. If she did play me, I still think I got a better outcome. Commenter. Happy travels, mate, and good luck with the princess. It sounds like she was in fact in another castle. Did you ever apologize for or explain her affairs? OP, I love the Mario reference. The ex-wife did apologize for how she was during the marriage. Not for specific things, just a general apology. And I'm okay with that. She was willing to explain, but seeing her broken already, I let her keep her dignity and not have her relive her mistakes and wrongdoings. Her admitting fault and the apology were all I needed for closure. Commenter. I think you should consider how weird it is that he posted a story that happened 5 years ago, and then had a sudden update for it, like, a week later. And here, a month later, it's now all this. OP. If you really think this is fake, it isn't. I hope you find it entertaining. Mini update. 4 days later, almost 2 months from the OG post. A small update. I finally met Peach. I already knew Peach online. Peach is a digital nomad. Just like me, her work is 100% remote. Unlike me, she doesn't travel that much. She only travels to the south in the winter. She hates the cold. 2 years ago, we started working on a big project together and stayed in touch. Social media, friends, and texting. Just as friends. When I talked about my invitation to South America, she expressed interest. But because that trip is still months away, I suggest traveling in the US with me for a couple of months first. That is where we are now. She knew about everything I posted about the ex-wife. Yes, even before you guys. The only thing she did not know about was her nickname. But as soon as I walked up to her with Jack Black blasting Peaches on a Bluetooth speaker, she almost fell to the floor laughing. She did not need an explanation. She was the one describing herself as a passenger princess, so she got the link immediately. The way people are online and in real life is sometimes different. My first impression of Peach is that the way she is online is the same as the way she is in real life. With one unexpected plus, she has an infectious laugh. I'm staying at a B&B for a few days, while Peach and I are preparing for the trip. So that is the small update. I met Peach. She is the same person as she is online. She now knows Peach is my nickname for her online and in real life. And on Monday, the journey begins. Update. 3 weeks later, about 2.5 months from the OG post. I've been traveling with Peach for 2 weeks. Right before we left, Peach bought a plastic tiara, because a princess has to have a tiara. It took me 5 minutes to stop laughing before I could start the car. We hadn't even left yet, and the trip was off to a great start. You can't always plan ahead, so sometimes you get a motel with only one room available. So the first night we had to share a room, twin beds, but the same room, so no boundaries were crossed. Except, she did record me snoring. While we work for different companies and our current projects are not at all related, there are a few techniques that can be used in both. When I tell you this girl is a genius, I mean she is a genius. She showed me a trick that will make me work faster and more efficiently. I did find out something that made me doubt everything about her. She likes pineapple on pizza. That is on top of the list of culinary sins. We also had an argument. Details are not important. And while I was the stubborn mule that was just driving, I kept my mouth shut because I thought I was right. Peach is not. After we were both quiet for about 20 minutes, give or take, she calmly started telling a story. A story that was actually a metaphor for the argument that we were having. At the end of the story, I could understand her point of view, and because I was now calm, I could tell her my point of view, and while we still disagreed, we understood each other and respected each other's views. I've already decided for myself that I'm traveling with Peach for as long as possible. A small update on the ex-wife. She has a new job that will change her life. She deserves this job. It is within the field she studied, and in the interview, she was honest about being a stay-at-home wife for a while, which meant she would get a probationary period with training and courses, and based on the results of the courses, they would give her a contract. She nailed it. She now has a full-time, high-paying job. I opened a few doors for her, and she stepped through them herself. Update. On the road without Peaches. Peach left 2 days ago. No, not what you think. Peach left for a few days to attend to some family business. If it were something pleasant, she would have asked me to come along. However, it's something annoying, and she doesn't want me to experience the unpleasant side of her family first. Her words. She wants me to like them before I meet this side of the family. Because of that, she won't tell me about the family business at this point. She'll tell me later, after I've already met them under pleasant circumstances, which will be planned when she returns. I put her on a plane 2 days ago, and we've been texting daily. I'll be driving alone these days, and will meet Peach at a different airport in 6 days. I'm under very strict orders to take at least 10,000 pictures while on the road. If I fail, I'll have to eat a Hawaiian pizza with extra pineapple. The horror. I know some people might be thinking Peach left and won't come back. She left her work gear with me. Oh, every digital nomad knows that you never leave unless you're planning to return. Peach is turning 28 in a few weeks. I have the beginning of a plan for her birthday, but since she's on Reddit, I won't talk about it here. So that's what's happening now. However, it's been a month since my last post. So, let's recap the last month in no particular order. I learned something about Peaches. She never learned how to drive. I've started teaching her, and we'll pick that back up when she's back. One day, we were a few miles from the next town, and it was already getting dark. We drove past a lake, and she wanted to take a dip. She held the Doritos hostage until I stopped. While I was changing into my swimming trunks, she ran to the water, undressed while running, and jumped in naked. In the water, she did keep a 10-15 foot distance, which I respected. She did wait till dark to run back to the car and get dressed. So that was an experience. In a previous post, I already hinted at Peach's genius. But I didn't realize just how much of a genius she is. Till now. We were both working from a cafe, and I was in a Zoom meeting. Peach got up to order another coffee. She didn't ask me because I was in a meeting, but she got one for me anyway. She walked into the view of the call to give me my coffee, so the people I was meeting with saw her, and one recognized her. I'm not traveling with someone who's good at what she does. I'm traveling with someone who's the absolute master of her craft. In these circles, Peach is royalty. About the ex-wife, she's doing great. We don't text, but we do email occasionally. She told me that if she makes it through the probationary period at work, there's an opportunity for her in a satellite office in another state. She's hoping she qualifies and wants to take it. I hope so, too. A fresh start will do her good. Biker Dude has convinced us that we're going to his country in December. So this year, it will be a tropical Christmas and New Year celebration. New Year's is the biggest party of the year over there. Secret voices. I highly doubt the story is real. But hey, this is Reddit, and we can't be sure, so let me know what you think. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.